Hey guys, Skateboard again. Caves are really difficult for a lot of players, mostly because they're very different from the surface, and because they have much harder enemies than the surface. But in Don't Starve fashion, high risk means much higher reward. This guide is on the caves only. If you want a ruins guide, there's a link at the top right, and there will be another link at the end of the video. This will be a guide of things to look out for when entering the caves and Don't Starve together specifically. First benefits of going into the caves. Number 1 is avoiding summer heat. It's cool enough underground to not overheat at all during summer. Number 2 is avoiding dangerous monsters. Entering the caves before a hound attack spawn will cause them not to spawn at all. Number 3, there's better items, such as the lantern and rabbit hutches. And number 4, there's more compact resources, like rocks. Now here's the things to look out for. The different monsters. Antlion. The antlion is a surface boss, but it's dangerous to the player underground. The antlion will cause cave-ins while the player's in the caves instead of sinkholes. Kill it before going underground for the summer. Basilisks. They do lots of damage but have low health, and will circle their target before attacking in a group. To deal with them, attack them before they attack you. Big Tentacle. The big tentacle will only defend itself. It's never going to attack you. However, it is best to kill them, as when you do, they turn into an underground wormhole. Every time they are hit, they spawn baby tentacles, and when they die, the baby tentacles disappear. So it is best to just kill the big tentacles itself. Bunnymen and Beardlords. Bunnymen are not aggressive as long as you don't have meat-based foods on you, so the best way to deal with them is either avoid them, or just don't carry meat. It is also best to avoid fighting them in groups, as they deal high damage and run away if their HP is low. They also turn into Beardlords when the player is insane, making them slightly stronger and have worse drops. Cave Spider. This is a type of spider that can shield itself when attacked. Avoid them, they take too long to kill and are definitely not worth your time. Dangling Depths Dweller. These spiders have no nest. They come from the ceiling whenever someone touches their web instead. Other than that, they're the exact same as a warrior spider. Depth Worms. Depth worms are very dangerous in a lot of ways. They spawn naturally in the ruins and nearby to the ruins, and also spawn in waves to attack the player like hounds. When they spawn in the ruins or nearby to the ruins, they hide themselves as glowberries, and wait until the player gets close to attack them, and then they jump out and use a sneak attack. The way to counter this is to be hesitant around any glowberries and be ready to run after getting near them. When they come in waves, they're much harder to deal with than just running away, as there are multiple of them and they are hard to shake off. The best way to deal with them is to run in circles until all of them are exactly on top of each other, and then kite them. There is a link to a guide to kiting at the top right of the screen if you don't know the kiting pattern. Rock lobsters. These can be befriended by feeding them a rock, and are neutral otherwise. Don't even try to fight them. They are very strong and have a ton of health. These are also another valid option for helping fight the depth worms or other hard enemies in the caves. Slurper. These are a ruins mob, but since they are in the wilds, which is between the ruins and the caves, it will be covered. Slurpers will attack the player by jumping at him. If they land the hit, they will take off the player's headgear and replace it with themselves, like they're an equip item. They give off light and take hunger rapidly. The best way to deal with them is just ignore them. They're really inaccurate and their drops aren't very helpful. Slurtle. These are more annoying than they are dangerous. They eat rocks on the ground and attack the player if they have rocks, forcing them to drop a rock every time they are hit. After a certain amount of rocks eaten, they drop slurtle slime, which can be used to refuel light and is explosive. Snurtle. Kill these whenever you see them. They are a very rare variant of the slurtle that don't attack back and they always drop armor. Spitter. This is a spider with range. The best way to deal with them is to tank them or run far away. Don't fight groups of them. Toadstool. If you see an odd purple mushroom sticking out of the ground, don't try and chop it. That's a toadstool, a raid boss, and his drops are useless, so never fight him. Earthquakes. Earthquakes will randomly activate when the player is underground, causing rocks, gold, marble, rabbits, moles, blue, and red gems to drop on them. There's also a chance the item will stay intact, so the player can grab them. To avoid being hit by earthquakes, watch for dark spots on the ground and avoid them. There are also new biomes, like the Atrium. When going through a big tentacles wormhole, there's a chance the wormhole can be in the Atrium. It is an island maze disconnected from the rest of the caves. Its purpose is to fight the ancient fuel weaver at the end of the maze, if the player has the fossil and shadow Atrium. If the player does not want to fight the fuel weaver, they should leave immediately. Also, the Atrium island spawns nearby to the ruins and is an excellent way to find the direction to them. Mush Tree Forest. This biome has trees that are mushrooms, and there are 3 variants: blue, red, and green mush tree forests. The green mushroom forests have some normal trees within them. The blue mush tree forest has some dangling depth dwellers and mush trees that spawn depth dwellers. And the red mush tree forest has stalagmites and spilagmites. Spilagmites are basically spider nests. Muddy light flower forest. This biome is exclusive to Don't Starve Together and is always the biome that leads to the ruins. It contains slurtle dens, stalagmites, tons of light flower, and an occasional glowberry. This biome can be differentiated from the wilds due to not spawning lichen. Stalagmite biomes. These have stalagmites, spilagmites, bat caves, and nightmare fissures. Avoid bat caves and they won't spawn. Same goes for the stalagmites and spiders. Sunken Forest. Near cave entrances, there are often sunken forests. They are a patch that is alike to a surface forest, and there is a light in the patch during the daytime. And the wilds. This is the biome that connects the ruins and the caves, so it has resources from both. It contains depth worms, glowberries, lichen, light flowers, slurpers, and a few splumonkeys. Make sure you stay away from splumonkeys. These are the most dangerous enemies during Nightmare Phase, and they will steal your items if they kill you. New objects. Stalagmites and spilagmites are new types of rocks. Stalagmites can be mined for gold, rocks, gems, and fossil pieces. Spilagmites look like stalagmites, but spawn spiders, and still need a pickaxe to be taken down. These give rocks, spider glands, silk, and fossil pieces. Bat caves. Whenever the player runs by one of these, it will spawn a few bats. Avoid them. It is also important to note that they are unbreakable. Nightmare fissures. These spawn nightmare creatures during the Nightmare Phase, covered in the Ruins Guide, which are the same as shadow creatures, except they can attack you while sane and don't restore sanity. Light flowers. Picking these give light bulbs, which are useful for making and refueling lanterns, and refueling other light items. Fern. This is an underground flower, but it does not spawn butterflies. I recommend not picking them as they raise your sanity. Rabbit Hutch. These house bunnymen, and they are a great thing to bring to the surface. I recommend hammering them all down to bring the parts to the surface to set up a bunnyman farm, which is extremely good food and helpful for exterminating bosses. Mush trees. Giant trees that also give a mushroom of the color they are. Blue ones are the most useful, obviously. They spawn in mush tree forests. Spores. Mush trees give off spores sometimes and don't starve together. These aren't dangerous and can be caught with a net to put in a mush light or in a mushroom planter, which you really shouldn't do, as both these items are useless. Slurtle mound. This is where slurtles spawn from. They will leave the mound when the mound is hit, or when an earthquake starts. They are normally found in the muddy light flower forest. Lichen. Lichen is normally found in the ruins and the wilds. It is the best food in the game, since it is found in abundance and can be used as a vegetable in the crock pot, making it really, really helpful for making pierogi. Underground pond. Found in the wilds, if fished from, they give eels instead of fish, which can be turned into the Pig King for 5 gold each. This still really isn't a fast way of getting gold, and the food is not nearly enough to justify you fishing it. That's it for this video. If you'd like to learn about the ruins, click the video on the screen, and if you like the video, please leave a like.